Hello my loves and welcome back to the channel. So today I the theme of throat chakra has been coming up, so I want to talk a little bit about that and what has been just in the field lately. And if you're finding this video, trusting that there's a message there for you about it. So the throat chakra is the fifth chakra and it's located over here. It's to do with it's like the energetic center of like our communication, how we express ourselves, and also our authenticity. And if the throat chakra is out of balance, or the shadow side of throat chakra is jealousy, um, which is interesting. So if you've been experiencing feelings of jealousy or jealousy being projected at you, either one of those, no shame. It's a very human thing. We all experience both sides of it, but yeah, I trust that you found this video for a reason. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go into it. So what came to me today about the throat chakra is like how it can be used as such a beautiful way to heal. Like our voice is so healing, how we talk, how we sing, but also like how our inner dialogue is. And what came to me was also like the beauty of throat chakra. What we're able to do with it is really to, you know, show gratitude and elevate our vibration by being, you know, in the feeling of gratitude. So when we speak out thank you, when we've actually enjoyed we actually like say thank you from the heart, that elevates our frequency, and that ripple effect kind of like affects everyone around us. So yeah, gratitude is super powerful thing. But then I started to think about like what is the like gratitude versus appreciation, like what's the difference there. These two words kept coming up to me as I meditated this morning. And for gratitude I got like it's a reclamation, or you know, a statement of I enjoyed that and I got pleasure out of that, what just happened, or what you gave me, or what you did for me, or what I did for myself. And then appreciation, like the words that came to me that I thought were really like just beautiful, and I hadn't thought about it that way, was that appreciation is celebrating ourselves and each other with words. And I've been lately like surrounded by people who have been like on very different ends of like the appreciation and gratitude spectrum, and it's so noticeable the difference it makes in how I like feel about myself and how I show up and what I want to like do and what happens with these like different polarities of energies. And I notice myself when I'm surrounded by people who don't necessarily show appreciation to themselves or to other people. There's an energy in myself of like I don't want to show up as fully. I kind of like start to hide my authenticity when I'm not being appreciated. I will kind of like go into my little shell and not fully allow myself to be myself. Versus when I've been so blessed and lucky in the past few months to meet very incredible people traveling in Portugal and in Spain and now in France. And when I've met people who are appreciative of like whether it is of like what we do together or who I am as a person, or like even my appearance or my clothing or anything, like getting praised. It's such a yummy feeling. It's so like celebratory. It's so magical and beautiful, and then it just makes you want to like, give that back. And there's this like beautiful flow of like praise going around, and yeah, just like elevating each other with your words and celebrating each other with the words that we're able to speak from this beautiful energy center. um, yeah, there's just the message of that for today is like, how can you really not only celebrate yourself with your own words, like really speaking out kind things about yourself to yourself and to other people. I think, at least where I'm from in Finland, it's like really forbidden to be like loving yourself too much, or being a little bit like cocky, or it's seen as like, um, yeah, that it's not very humble behavior, but it's loving behavior. It's like, if it's coming from the frequency of you are speaking loving words to yourself, you are just, multiplying love within yourself, and how you speak to yourself is often how you speak to other people. So having a practice of speaking kind words and using your own throat chakra to celebrate yourself is such a wonderful practice to then, you know, be able to show up that way to other people as well in the world. And there's also a message here of like, noticing, and when I've started to notice this within myself, of like, if I make a mistake or if something happens where I'm not like super proud of how I behaved, or yeah, I just like act out of alignment or act out of truth, there's this inner dialogue that starts in my head, and sometimes that can be really judgmental, or it can be really like harsh. And lately I've just started to like catch that voice and be like, hey, like, yeah, I fucked up, but also I still deserve to be spoken to kindly. I still deserve to be respected, and I still deserve love even though I make mistakes. And when you start to do this with yourself, it's really eye-opening, because you start to notice how many people really my throat chakra is going off do not speak kindly to themselves, um, and how then that translates to how they talk about other people, or how they might even treat or talk to you. And again, there's no like shaming in that. There's no, need to necessarily react to it. I say this to myself now because I have a tendency of being like, like the social justice warrior sometimes. Of being like, no, this is not right, this is not how it should go, and like, there's gotta be a better way, and like voicing my truth, and I love that part of myself. But I've also come to lately realize and contemplate on, what would it mean if I did not react? What would it mean if I trusted God so much that I don't need to correct other people's mistakes? And that still feels a little bit hard. It still feels a little bit hard to trust that like there will be justice, even if I don't act on it, even if I don't do what feels right for me. Because of course, when you kind of meet people, or call them out, the walls come up, the protections come up, and that can sometimes be a little bit yeah, not pretty, or like spicy, or a little bit even like can get heated up. And even though you are speaking from love and from truth, other people, because of their pain and because of their internal perception of themselves and the world, and even like truth, might react to it in very extreme ways. So sometimes, there's a saying of speak your truth, and I feel like I've really lived that way. But I've come to realize like that I can still be in my truth, but I don't necessarily need to let everyone know my truth. And there's like a fine nuance to that of like not hiding your truth, but also like choosing when to let people know what you think. Um, from a place of loving yourself, from a place of like, I understand that you might not like my truth. You might react to my truth because I see how you talk to yourself and how you behave towards other people. And if those signals are signaling that it's not safe for me to speak my truth, then it's not time for me to speak my truth. Um, so yeah, maybe there's someone who's watching who needed to hear that today. I don't know. I trust. I trust. But yeah, lately for me it's been like a practice of just noticing, really being this in this like kind of stepping out of the duality, stepping out of the drama, which I so dearly like love and appreciate. I appreciate the drama. Being a human, it's beautiful, it's magical, it's heartbreaking, it's all of it. But also realizing that like, okay, I don't need to be riding every wave. I get to sometimes, you know, go to shore for a little bit or get on a boat for a while, or a raft, and just observe and trust that even in my inaction, the world will continue to be a beautiful and magical place. And that's not to say that I won't take action when it's needed, but it's also like noticing when to and when not to. Often we're just pushed to like go, 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 do, say, speak, you know? And there is also like a beauty of stopping and pausing and allowing yourself to be redirected by something higher than yourself. So yeah, and the final thing I want to talk about related to the throat chakra, and this has been a huge theme for me personally. If you know the gene keys, this is gene key 4, which is forgiveness. It's also my life's work. And when I tune into the throat chakra and like the beautiful things that we can do with it, is one of them is definitely, or the most powerful, I think. I don't know if it's most powerful. I would say also gratitude and appreciation, but then a third one that I want to talk about is forgiveness. Which, yeah, I want to share a little bit, like a little story related to that. So yesterday it was new moon in Gemini, so I sat down and I did a little candle ritual, and I felt like even though it was new moon, so like calling things in, I feel like there were things I wanted to release and let go of. And then I have this playlist, and it's called A Soft Life. And one of the songs there is I'm gonna butcher this, but it's the Ho'oponoponopo. I think it's like a Hawaiian or Pacific islander, like they used to do it as a practice. And the song basically goes, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And it just repeats that 108 times. And I just started singing it and closing my eyes. And as I was singing, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, I'm sorry, I started seeing like the people in my life. And then I was picturing myself like facing them and saying these things to them. And it was really beautiful. I was like crying and releasing, and just even people I hadn't thought of for years popped up. And I did that for, I think it lasted for like 10 minutes or something. And at the end of it, I just had this huge yawn and this sigh, and I feel like I released so much energy, and it felt so clearing. It felt so just this like magical sense of freedom. And in the Gene Keys they always say that or there's like a phrase called forgiveness is freedom, and I really felt that yesterday. So yeah, if you feel like there's some like love, forgiveness, energy, gratitude that you want to give out into the world, I'll link the song below. Super nice to listen to and do a little forgiveness practice. And the point of me saying that is, yeah, so they used to, in Hawaii, or the islanders used to have this practice of saying these things to each other as a tribe, as a community, when they would gather together, because they understood that as a community we can function and we can like coexist peacefully and harmoniously when there's the element of forgiveness on both sides. So you getting forgiveness and giving forgiveness, gratitude, both sides again, and then love. And that got me to thinking like, oh, my throat chakra. And I just want to put this question out there, to maybe have a little contemplation on forgiveness today, prompted by this video. And just notice, are there like people in your life or from your past you still haven't forgiven for some reason? And I fully understand that forgiveness is not easy. Not easy, especially when we've been deeply hurt or betrayed by someone. But I want you to imagine that if that person who hurt you or betrayed you like came to you and looked you in the eyes and asked for your forgiveness, what would you say? And could you find it in your heart to forgive them? And how would that feel like? I'm not saying you need to do it. Yeah, I'm not saying it needs to happen, but just as like a little imagination game. Yeah. So that's that. Do I have something else to say about forgiveness? It's a two-way street, and I feel like sometimes, you know, I'm more of like an over apologizer. I'll apologize for things that are like I'll bump, like someone will bump into me and I'll say sorry, like silly stuff like that. And I always want to say sorry because I can recognize where I've made a mistake. I can recognize where I've fucked up, or I've, you know, done something out of alignment or out of my heart's truth, and it's hurt someone. And it is such a, like, the best feeling when you're able to ask for forgiveness and receive it. But it does take this acknowledgement of what you've done, and I fully empathize with people who don't find apologizing easy, because then there can be this energy of like power dynamics afterwards of like, oh well, you fucked up, so even though you forgive someone, you still kind of like energetically or just make them pay for it, which is cruel, which is not nice. So if you forgive someone, then also allow that pain and that hurt to process out of yourself. So yeah, so having compassion for the over apologizers and for people who have a hard time saying sorry or asking for forgiveness or even giving forgiveness. Sometimes that takes acknowledgement and really sitting with what has happened, and that's not always easy. So also trusting that forgiveness happens in perfect divine timing. And yeah, even though sometimes we think we like need to control it, or we need to have someone forgive us or forgive someone really quickly, like there's always a process to it, and the message is here to allow it to unfold in its own time. All right, cool. I wanted to pull a little card to finish off, and I felt the unicorns today. So, a message from the unicorns related to the themes that we've just been, or I've just been exploring with you. I'm sure you've been, you know, in your own little bubble as I've been speaking, and you know, processing the information in your own way, or just receiving. However you receive is up to you. Yeah. Okay, unicorns. What is the final message related to the throat chakra today? Okay. Oh, I like this. All right. Creative. Draw, paint, think, and act in creative ways. Yay! Ah, that's beautiful. And I'd like to add, you know, creativity can also be expressed through song, through, you know, writing, through poetry, through just speaking affirmations or kind words to yourself or someone else in your life. And I love this little fairy baby just sitting on the rock, and the unicorns coming from the sea. Such a beautiful card. Ah, so beautiful. And yeah, like I was talking earlier about, like, just sometimes like going to the shore and just sitting, you know, like that little fairy baby. And we don't always need to be going. We can just be. And what I've noticed also is that oftentimes, like, the creativity comes from being really still and observing. Okay, that is it for today. Oh, that's a little butterfly. Yeah, if you feel called to, give yourself and someone a compliment today, and just watch, just notice how that changes the energy around you and that other person, and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. All right, my loves, thank you so much for today. I'm sending you so much love and happiness and creativity and magic. And also, if you want to go a little bit deeper in understanding like the chakra system and energy and tarot, I've created a little mini course. It's called 8 Days of Magic, where you pick a card for 8 days, and then you have little magical rituals to do, and it's a lot of fun. So if you feel called to, I'll put a link below, and yeah, maybe I'll see you there, or I'll see you in the next reading. Like and subscribe. Mwah! Bye!